Well, thanks, Tom. Actually, I really appreciate you break the ice with my French accent, actually. This is probably one of my big fear being in front of you guys. And I want to thank you for the hard work you did to organize this, and actually everything you do for our industry. And I also want to thank my foursome yesterday that was Tim, Michael, and Rob that really play for. I think a team is really useful, and you know, and we have to remember that we're not alone. Okay, so that's why, you know, as an industry, we're a team. We have to play together. We have to share information, and because we all have to deal with the same problem at the end of the day. So this being said, I'm just gonna click the next slide. So, and actually one thing I wanna share, first of all, today I'm gonna share classified information, okay? So I run a background check on Tom, and it was okay. So, so we should be okay, but this information for the one who went for a nap after lunch and they're not here right now, it's too bad, because it's not gonna be available on the SAR website unless we got approval by my management team. But I guess there's some of the stuff I'm gonna talk about it that's gonna be present at SEMA this year. And so we're doing a lot of things happening actually at the Repairify and AsTech. So and I just want to share a little bit of my background. I know you know, you guys, some of you know that I'm from ALLDATA, but before that, I used to have a mobile diagnostic service. I was covering the Montreal area. Then I opened a tech line because I was too busy. I said, well, how can I help more people? So I opened a tech line, and then the side at night I was doing training, and finally sold that business to CarQuest and 203, then start back in 206, a new business. That same thing, technical support, and I run that for 8 years, building a web-based data that I could share information with shop that they can use. And actually all data came along, and were starting their tech line, so they bought that business as well. So I've been 8 years with ALLDATA, really enjoyed the company, great information. And now I just got a new challenge actually with AsTech, start in January, working with Chris Hollingsworth, who was my VP at ALLDATA, is now the president of Repairify. So this is, you know, a great challenge for me. And I think you guys have to see all the evolution as a great challenge and not a roadblock. So how do we get there so fast, you know? And we came from an industry where you guys used to fix cars to make them look like new. Now you have to fix cars that are safe like new. And what's the next step, you know? So we got a lot going on, and you know, we want to make sure that the car are reacting as good as a primary collision as a secondary collision. We hope we're not gonna have that secondary collision, but those things happen. Now people are gonna look at this. What is this? Well, on the left side is probably me walking, hiking that mountain slowly, learning year after year new technology. And actually, it's the repair industry, regular shop. They've been learning technology over time. And on the right side is the collision industry. You guys are the ones that are in the front line right now. We throw you that new technology the day one, even before the dealer have a chance to understand it, it's in your shop. So that's a big challenge. And what I want you to know, it's AsTech is there, and we're down there, we're holding the rope, okay? So we're taking liability for you, okay? And this is what's coming. This is the future. We always been there, and we're gonna be there for you. We're gonna make sure that we can continue fix car properly. So first thing I hear about actually AsTech was at Anaheim in 2016, and that's when everything took off. Like all the OEM came with position statement, and pre-scan, post-scan was like you know, booming. And so this is where, you know, we stand today. We have to do pre-scan. We have to evaluate the damage that we don't see it otherwise if we don't scan. And for a few reasons. One reason, you want to know what's wrong with the car, and you want to evaluate what was wrong with the car before the car get involved in an accident. So how this works when we talk about our device, okay? So actually our device is, on one side we got close to 500 tech with a minimum of 10-year experience. And when I say 10-year experience, 10-year experience at dealer level. This is one of our criteria. We are people that have been working at the dealer for many years. And so if you count this, that 5,000 years of experience, if you count those 10 years multiplied by our 500 techs, you know, that's 5,000 years of experience. Well, it is good if we organize that experience and put in the software and being able to track, and where we can share the experience with each other. That will be a 5,000 year of experience for us. And we're working on this. I mean, we still have a long way to go, but we got a lot done already. We're talking about 900 plus scan tool stacked on that cloud there. So, and we're probably going to get to 1,000 before the end of the year, the way it's going right now. So we're performing 5,800 scan per day. That's a lot of scan per day. And we're doing about close to 1,000 calibration per day as well. So this is why, you know, our company is growing fast. We get organized. And I think some of you probably used us in the past and had issue with time. Well, I want to tell you that we're monitoring time. We got what we call our NASA control center, where we got people that are looking at all the scan being performed. What's the trend for the day? How many we gonna do today? How many tools available for each OE? You know, I was just looking at the stack of NISSAN. I think we got over 50 scan tools just for NISSAN. So, and the reason we have 50 is because if you connect your AsTech device, we want to make sure that we got the tool for you and we got a tech for you. So we monitor how many tech available, how many tool available, what's the average time. And I can tell you that a few months ago, I received an email in the morning. After I received the average time, it was like 5 minutes 30. And one of the controller calls, say, why we were at 5 minutes 30 yesterday? Because our average time, it's anywhere between 2.5 to 3.8. That's the time that you connect the tool to your car and that it connect to the OE scan tool. So when you see that, you see scan in progress, our average time is this. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I was in Toronto 2 weeks ago. I went to a shop and the guy looked at me and said, oh, can you do Volvo? I said, of course I can do Volvo. Why not? So I hooked up the tool and it took about 6, 7, 8 minutes before the technician was on it. Well, you know, I don't have as much Volvo technician as I got NISSAN technician, or I don't have as much Volvo tool as I got for NISSAN. So, but this is monitor. We look at it. We make sure that we control that. But overall, you know, I stay by the car and it was long for me. It took 40 minutes for me to get the full report. Well, 40 minutes, it's long if you're waiting. But if the car is connected, you got a battery charger on and you're doing something else, It's a good 40 minutes because at the end, you get the full report and you don't have to wait for it. And this is the way, the average time to get your full report, it's anywhere between 25 to 30 minutes. You receive a full report by email. So, and that's the average time normally. Okay, it depends what car you're working on, what's the severity of the car, I mean, the trouble code. There's a lot of factors that can involve. The nice thing is you don't have to wait about it. You should do something else and let our tech work and wait for your email. But in average time, you know, it's within 30 minutes. Now, you probably see that picture before. As you can see, there's just no place left on those cars today where they can be hit without creating any electronic damage. There's none. Everything, there's electronic all over the place. I mean, you hit the door, well, you will have to reprogram, change the window motor, and you will have to reprogram the window motor after all. There's calibration that needed for simple thing that usually in the past we didn't have nothing to do or nothing to worry about. So, and so the pre-scan will allow you to find hidden damage that you wouldn't see, that you cannot see, and order the part on time. So, and avoid waiting for those, reduce and avoiding reducing your increasing your cycle time. Now I'm going to show you, this is a pre-scan, okay? That pre-scan showed 9 code in 4 different modules. Now the technician wrote all the information for you. He did all the research for you, and he's telling you what needs to be replaced on the car. Exactly everything that needs to be replaced. And he also states that you're going to have to replace your airbag module. And not only that, after you replace the airbag module, we can reprogram the airbag module with the AsTech device for you. Well, go back to how long it takes to research all those trouble code. If I got 9 trouble code going to my whole data or whatever software you guys are using, it would take about an hour. Research and put documentation on it. Those guys are only doing that full time. And an hour, it's like, I'm generous. So receive the second scan, the post scan. So the pre-scan is done, post scan come. And now this post scan throws 67 code in 20 module. Well, we expect that because the car been taken apart, you know, battery went down, disconnect, and all kind of thing happened. The guys replace everything on the car that need to be replaced. And on this one, we got 2 code remaining. And one of them is the airbag module. Why? You didn't replace the airbag module. So we cleared the code, 2 code came back after those 67 code, and the airbag module was still there. Well, one thing, maybe we didn't reprogram the airbag module, but no, the technician didn't replace it. So, and is it his fault? It wasn't a pre-scan. He shouldn't know. He should have replaced it. And I look at this, I'm like, this is our fault. We should present you bullet test, bullet point. This is what has to be done. Now it's in the text somewhere. You have to read it. But we need to do a better job for you to make it easier to understand. I'm sure the shop would read it. He probably missed that because it was too much information. But if we lay out this better for you and as a checklist, I think it's going to be better for you. And we're there to do that. So, and this is one of the things I present. My job is to make sure that we make our product better. And I catch up, I'm like, why we miss that? You know, actually the technician missed in the shop, but the reason number one, it's I think we didn't do a great job presenting that. So we are doing a better, we're going to do a better job moving forward to presenting those reports. So we're working to improve that. And again, when you get the report, you got all the information you can have access, you know, all the scan that been done on a car, and this, we save that information for you. Okay. What happened? with this guy that didn't order the module. Maybe the module is back order, or maybe he won't get it because he didn't order on time, and is going to do an extra 3D on the rental for this car, for this vehicle, because he didn't order the module the first day on a pre-scan. So this is why we're there and how you can leverage our services. Not only that, we provide also the safety recall. So we got the Canadian Transport Canada recall, or we got the US recall, but we will provide you safety recall. If there's an open recall on this car, you will know. So some people look at this and say, okay, our service is expensive. Well, it's expensive, but if you look at the time you take to do the research, having access to an OE certified technician that can help you, you can call him and he can support you fixing the problem. Sometimes it's priceless. Try to call BMW and try to talk to a tech and see if he can help you when you're doing a specific repair. Forget it. Even if you're buying $50,000 worth of part there, this guy is too important for the shop. He cannot talk to you unless you got his private phone number. That's another story. So if you don't already have a device, you can sign in right now for a free device. So you can leverage our million of scan expertise. So this is, we got over millions of scan expertise. So you can leverage that. You can eliminate sublet, towing fee, come back, keep the car in a production line, reduce your cycle time just by using us. How you get that free device? You just have to do 120 scan with us within 6 months, and you don't have to pay for that device. So our partner, well, I have to mention SAR, SGI, who are, great partner. We work with them closely. This is like a couple, we don't always agree, and you guys don't always agree, but that's the way it works. At the end of the day, we make things work and change. 3M. You guys probably hear about 3M, was in the news. They did a significant investment with AsTech this year, and it's because they believe in our unique patented technology that help our industry. So, and this partnership will just only help us because 3M are all over the place. They are in every single collision shop across the world, okay? You hear Enterprise earlier, so we are also have an agreement with Enterprise, they have a specific fleet of vehicle, all 2022, 2021, 2020, sometime 2019. So they need OE scan to be able to scan those, and they want to make sure that the car is fixed right. The next guy that's going to rent the car might not have any issue. The second, third, fourth might not have any issue. Maybe the fifth one will. So they want to make sure that the car reacts properly and the way it should. NISSAN. We had a partnership with NISSAN Jacksonville where we're hosting all their calibration training for them. So, this is great partnership for us. And that show that they believe in our expertise, and their calibration team get trained with us. I talk about 1,000 calibration a day. Well, this is one of our big partner, 22 country. So we've been doing calibration for the past 3.5 years. So I think calibration is key. Like when you replace a windshield, you want to make sure that the calibration is done properly. So next step, AsTech, you probably hear, we did introduce 2 new apps. One of them is AsTech Connect. available right now. You can download that app if you already AsTech user. You can use this. So this is what the look of our AsTech available. So you can download that and ask our customer service for the access. Actually, you will need the credential to access your app. Okay. The other thing, we're introducing what we call AsTech Zero. Coming soon. Part of the classified information. So why we are bringing that is because we're listening to you. You want choice, you want to be cost effective, you want a freedom to choose according to your need. So this is why we came up with AsTech Zero. So you might see this coming to your email in a month or two. I won't put date in there, but it's coming. So what AsTech Zero does, local aftermarket scan. No, we're not leaving the OEM space. We're just expanding to offer you a better solution according to what you need. So we're not leaving the OE. We stick with the OE. We have a great relationship with the OE. It's just that sometimes you guys maybe don't need an OE scan. Maybe you want to spend less on the scan. Maybe you want to have your local scan available and get a similar report. Well, you can use, imagine you use aftermarket with an OE level report. This is what we're working on right now. The other thing we are bringing, remote aftermarket scan. And we will have remote OEM. So you will have everything on that AsTech Zero. So, and this thing doesn't need to be connected to the internet, by the way. You can have the technical support with or without technical support. That's where the costs come. And we are trying to stay away from electronic. We're not actually from hardware. So we're coming with this new connector that will do the job. Okay. And why do we don't put a date on anything right now? You guys are all aware of the chip shortage issue that impact the automotive market. Well, it impacts every market. We know we're okay till December and we're supposed to have an order in December, but what if it doesn't come? So that's why, you know, we cannot give date. We're still in the pilot project with those units, and so far it's really going good. AsTech Zero tablet. Some people like the scan tool feeling. So instead of being on the phone, you can have the AsTech Zero tablet. That's another option that will be available for you guys. So you can use that as your own scan, personal scan tool, and you can request an OEM scan if you want, or you can request an aftermarket scan. How do we select that? How can I decide? We're investing millions of dollars in research and development. And we're looking at all the scan tools available out there and which one work the best for each specific vehicle out there. So we're doing the research for you. And if you can look at, you got the OE, the Hotel, the Auto Ingenuity, Blue Driver, Bosch, Launch, Texas, and some of them might be better than others for the same car. Some might not be good and some might be good. So we're doing the research for you. And the day you say, okay, I don't want to scan my Honda with the OE, I want to save a couple of bucks, I want to go aftermarket. It's not critical because I don't have ADAS system to scan on this car, or many reasons. It's an older car, severity level, it's low, cosmetic, you might just go with local scan. So we give you all those options. This is where we will be offering all the options. Look at the roadmap. This is the map for US, but I'm working on the map for Canada. So we're building a massive ADAS calibration network, and this is what it's going to look like. So, and we'll do the same in Canada. I will be in Dallas next week, meeting and talking about that, how this is going to look like, and how we're going to play with the Canadian market. Okay. So we're getting involved in calibration full time. So we will have Mobile Tech RX that will offer mobile calibration service. We will have an existing customer that will provide calibration. We're looking for a customer that raise their hand and say, okay, I want to get involved in calibration. We will support you. Remember, we will hold the rope and take care of the liability. ADAS Think. How am I going on time? Good. So some of you use ADAS Think. Let me go live. Okay, good. Okay, so the way ADAS Think work, and this thing, if with you guys use Mitchell, you can automate this, that it goes directly to the ADAS Think. Every PDF file that you're doing can go automatically to ADAS Think and do the report. Now I will go choose manually a report. So I'm gonna pick one, open, and it will scrub my report, scan, and then I go little window, tell me if this vehicle is equipped with front radar, yes. This vehicle is equipped with parking sensor, yes. And this is my report according to my estimate. So you didn't have much to do. It will give you all the safety recall and all the ADAS thing that need to be done on this vehicle. So not only that, if you're using all data, so it will give you an hyperlink to the information for this specific one, and you go through the step, and it shows you how to calibrate that sensor. Quite easy. It's all about saving time and be efficient. And this is all what you guys want, right? Go back to my report, go to the second operation, same thing. This one is a fun one. Okay, you can use some PCV pipe and make your own sensor, actually so your own pole to calibrate or test your parking sensor. Okay, so the information is there and the procedure is there. You just have to follow. The fun thing, it's you can go to Home Depot, get your stuff, buy it, and build your own tool there. And I'm surprised Ford didn't sell that for $300 for the kid. So sometimes you wonder. So new report, same thing. Choose another one. Let's choose a GM this time. Scan the report. Take a split second. Same thing. All my information is there. My requirement, how to do my calibration, my procedure is there. Again, some warning. And this is a windshield camera calibration. How do I need to do it? And when we do it for you, we will guide you through those steps. And if I go to the last one, steering angle calibration, same thing. Again, those need scan tool. Sometimes OEM scan tool will do it. Sometimes the aftermarket scan tool might do it. But be sure that if your aftermarket scan tool won't do it, we'd be happy to be your plan B. We always want to be your plan A, but we'd be happy to be your plan B too. So this is how ADAS thing work. So go back to presentation mode. Now, like Tom said, you guys are doing a lot of pickup truck there, out there. You got a lot. So if you look at the Ford here, overall on those vehicles on F-150, 23% or require calibration. Okay, the one that go through ADAS thing. When you go to Lincoln, those high-end car, they're high, always above 100%. It's easy. Cadillac even higher. Well, the reason is more equipment. This is today. Next year, they're all gonna get even, because those options that are available on high-end vehicle will be available on every vehicle 2022, 2023. It's gonna be standard equipment. Look at the market trend. Okay, 2020, 2021, you know, from 2018, it just increased like crazy. And next year is going to be a big jump. Now we're only going to see more of those calibrations. And now I'm going to give you an example of GM. You might come and say, hey, I got a calibration to do on that GM 2020, and somebody, SGI, say, well, no, you don't need to do that. Well, that was 6 months ago, because now procedure changed. You didn't have to do 6 months ago, but now things change. If you look back, we update information, and now you need to calibrate. Same vehicle, just different decision at the OE level. They just realized that need to be done. So what we do today will change tomorrow. So, and we have to use to that. We have to use to, you know, that technology changing, the requirement changing, and keep researching information. And how many of you got Target in your shop? Target set. Not too many in a room, okay? We're going toward that. We're gonna need them. But if you look at the static versus dynamic, everything on the right side doesn't require Target overall. Now, what I'm saying today might not be true tomorrow. So don't say Jean-Luc say don't need Target for GM. When you're gonna get to the 2022, it might say it require Target, okay? So, but overall, you know, I was looking at our information regarding the type of calibration required. Some required static, some require both, and some require only dynamic. What does prevent you to do all the dynamic? Everything on the right side now, you can do it tomorrow. You got all the tool. Just connect your AsTech machine and we'll be happy to do the calibration with you. So everything on the right, you guys can do. All your GMC, pickup truck, Ford, you can do it. BMW can be done. Hybrid calibration. Actually, we're bringing multiple new opportunity for you and for us on board. One of the things you need to be aware, it's every car that's coming out there that requires calibration, we're doing testing on it. We got our research center, we're doing testing with the OE equipment, and we're doing testing with the aftermarket equipment. We validate the information. We validate our tool. We validate our scan tool stack. We're doing our research. We're doing our own work to be able to provide you all the right information. Now, it's sad, you know, it's like you got 160,000 accidents in Canada per year. I mean, that's good for the business. The sad thing, it's like close to 3,000 people die of it. But what makes me more sad is the people that survive but stay with issue for the rest of their life. They cannot live their life normally. So that makes me more sad. So when I look at the technology that we OE actually put together, one way it's a good thing. But what it does, it gives us responsibility to make sure that this still work according to the OE spec. Now, what's coming next? I want to introduce you the new John Beam TruePoint. Why? Because we did research, and this is the most fantastic tool out there. It's a six-dimensional modeling of the vehicle. So when I start to look at calibration and I start to say, oh my God, this is not the collision business, or this is not the repair business. I feel like this is a carpenter business where I need to measure the target, measure the car, measure this, put the tape on the floor and all that. Well, with this new type of equipment, all you have to do is make sure the tank is full, make sure that everything is out of the trunk, everything that OE said, has to be ready for it. Then you put that tool on, it will look at the car and it will help you to put the target exactly at the right place. Instead of using laser beam and measuring tape, they're using the camera. That's awesome. So it will actually compensation for wheel target. So not only that, if you roll the car, it will check the alignment, and it will also help you for if the car is not completely level, it will compensate for it. So this is what we have. And you guys must think, is he working for Snap-on now? Is it his next step? No, we're not actually, but we're doing a strong partnership with them for one reason: speed, time, and also how easy to use this tool. So we're working with them and to be able to provide you what you need to be able to do the job right. Some of you have many issues with space, and space, time. I can have that space, but I cannot have that space for an hour. This is one of the issues. You can make space for 15 minutes, but you cannot make space for 2 hours. Okay, so we can work around, and this is the type of tool that will do the job for you. So it will adjust for the height of the car, and you can even, if you set up the car and you install your target, and for some reason it moved, it will let you know, and you could readjust right away. You're just gonna have to move it. But it's a 15-minute process compared to an hour process. And it will help you to be more efficient. It's easy to use. So what do you think of this? Nobody have a chance to see it or to use it yet? I don't want to give price right now, but from us, $0. You can get it for free as long as we do all your calibration. We're partner. So I don't have the price because it's not out yet, but we will, in the next few months, we will have a business plan for you. And if you have interest and you have volume, we'd be willing to take your name and put you in line. Because our issue right now is production. Yes, Dominic. Yeah. No, exactly. And it's correct. Yes. Yeah. It will compensate. Our tool will compensate. And I don't want to say our tool because it's John Beam. Okay. But we're doing actually we're finalizing some point, but we're having a partnership with them. So this is why I present that. This is why I asked yesterday and the day before for security clearance so I can talk about it. And I had one guy call me today, said, hey, where's your presentation? What are you going to do tomorrow? Or what are you going to talk about? And my boss called me today, same thing. It's like, I didn't send to you because I got permission to use it, but so, and the reason we don't want to, I don't want this to be recorded. It's once was my French accent, but the second one, it's we still need to finalize few details. Okay, so pricing, I want to stay away from pricing, but I can tell you one thing: the price will be right, for everybody. Whatever it worth, whatever the cost, the price will make it right for SGI, for a collision shop, and for us, to get into that business. So you saw the map before from the US, all the calibration point. Think about it. Today, we don't have much calibration to do. But tomorrow, we're aware of the market coming. We're well aware. Now you're fixing car that require calibration, and sometimes you just say, well, not this one. But eventually, you won't be able to say that. By the way, I got a question, if I can answer a question at the end. So, you guys all saw that slide, and you see that by 2022, it's a requirement for all the American car to have an advanced braking system or some kind of ADAS system. Well, that's all awesome, It will prevent accident as long as it's calibrated properly. So, but that's not the end of it. We're not done. So sorry, if you look at this, where do you think we are now? You guys all agree that we're in level 2 now? Yeah. When I look at level 2, I look at us as a business. We own 25% of the responsibility for whatever is going to happen to this car in the next accident. But if you go to level 3, I think we're going to own 50% of responsibility regarding the accident. Okay? Because you kind of control the car, but the driver needs to be aware, and need to be behind the wheel, so he's got his responsibility. But he's probably going to, play with his radio or whatever he's going to do because he's got that capability. When you go to level 4, where the car drives by itself, does it stop by itself, turn by itself, go where it needs to go by itself. If it get involved in an accident, I'm telling you that 75% of the chance or responsibility will be on you. 75%. And when we go to level 5, where are we with level 5? Is it there yet? Yes. You guys hear about Phoenix, some Uber and San Francisco. They're doing testing. They have taxi with no driver. They have the driver for a year. They removed the driver because the system went great. They're in the pilot project and it's working. So we're there. We're not there here yet, but it's coming faster than we think. So when level 5 hit, 100% of the liability is going to be on us. There's no driver. Not only that, it's like, I send my kid to school with my car that you're supposed to have it calibrate properly. Hope it does. So again, we will take liability as we work with you on calibration. We will assume some of the liability. We're there to work with you. We're there to do, you know, great partnership. And regarding calibration, we're all in calibration. So I can tell you next week I'm going to be in Dallas, and the meeting is all about calibration. Question? Yes.
You have the AsTech thing. Why do you need, like, do you need to use the AsTech thing if you have the AsTech tool?
Okay, the question is, if you have a ADAS thing, do we need the AsTech scan tool?
That's right.
Well, it's two different functions, actually. Eventually, our AsTech Duo will include ADAS Think in it. So when you're going to scan, it will tell you what needs to be done. But it's nothing compared to your estimate. So when by the way, just to go back, ADAS Think, what it does, it scans all the parts and everything that you mentioned that every operation that you're gonna do in this car. It scans every operation and every part we place on this car. And this is how it evaluates what needs to be done regarding calibration. So we're gonna do part of it by scanning car. We will be able to evaluate this according to trouble code. But again, we won't know if you replace the bumper, and if OE tell you that when you replace the bumper, if there's no code, you might not have the same result. So that's why it's a combination of both. And AsTech will give you the full report of what need to be done on the car. And ADAS Think will only give you information about what calibration is required according to the OE. Does that answer your question? Okay, so it's a complementary tool, actually. And, you know, for less than a coffee per VIN, I mean, it gives you a lot of information where you don't even have to search. You just click on the link and just follow the information. Any other question? By the way, you're going to hear more, and close to SEMA, there's a lot of things that's going to be announced. So be prepared. And if you guys have interest in calibration, again, we're there to support you in any shape or form. You know, plan A, plan B, scan only, ADAS Think, or full calibration setup. We're there to help. Thank you, everybody.
No other comments, questions? Did I hear you say that SGI was going to pay for all this, or no? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
No, maybe you were close to Karen, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not me.
No, you know, this the thing, Jean-Luc, with this is that for a lot of us, this is emerging technology that we're still trying to get our head wrapped around. And I thought it was interesting. You know, what's cool, what we're seeing today, a month or two from now can be totally changed, totally different. And so we have to constantly be aware that ADAS Think program, it's probably, like he says, that's where it starts, on the estimate portion of it. When your repair planners are doing the job, they need that information to decide what they're going to put on the estimate. AsTech is for the guy in the back that's actually working on the vehicle and doing the calibration. So you do need both programs hand in hand. Now, you don't need them, but it sure makes your life a lot easier if you have that information at your fingertips. And I'm excited to see about the dynamic calibration. I think there's a great opportunity there. And I think if you get a chance, you need to, you know, set this guy down and just say, tell me how you do that. I want to know how to do that. If we could eliminate on every GM and Ford vehicle you work on that you have to bring it to the dealer, that would be a tremendous savings in time and money for both you and for SGI. So take the time to talk to Jean-Luc about that. Pay attention to what's going on. And I'm looking forward to what happens over the next 6 to 12 months with ADAS. It's going to be phenomenal.
Maybe in 6 months we come with the machine and we'll do a live demo here. You never know.
That would be wonderful.
So it depends how fast they can produce those tools. That's one of the barter right now, it's like, how fast can we get those?
Exactly.
So, but we're talking about at least 5,000 of those.
Wow.
So we got 2-year prediction prepare for us.
I know we have one shop in the room here that just bought the targets and everything up at Twisted Metal, right? You just, have you done one of the jobs yet or just got the equipment delivered? Just test it on your own vehicle to see how everything worked. It seemed to work out okay. That was, I believe, Mitchell's Bosch system, right? Anybody else bought any targets or anything here at all? No? Because Jake had mentioned that on our last online call that we had with him, that, you know, if you're doing a lot of a certain vehicle, if like you do a lot of Hondas, for example, you do need the targets for that. Maybe that's a good investment for you as a business to purchase those targets. But a lot of the stuff, if you can do a dynamic calibration, get the job done, it just makes good sense for you guys to do it yourself. It's like anything else, you know, we're always nervous about doing it for the first time. But I think once we get a chance to do it a little bit and get experience with it, I bet you $100 that if you call Jean-Luc, he would actually walk you through the process.
And I tell you, for the one who just bought equipment and who own any piece of equipment, we're there to support you. Doesn't matter if you use Hotel or if you use the Bosch or the Hunter. Actually, we're the provider for Hunter as well. We're like their plan B. If you do a Hyundai, it's not supported. The last thing you want to do is invest a $40,000 piece of equipment and say, first car you walk into your shop, you cannot finish the job because your scan tool don't connect. So we're there to support you at this end. So be sure that doesn't matter what kind of equipment you got, we will support you.
Excellent.
With tech support and with the equipment, the OE scan.
Perfect. Okay. Jean-Luc, thank you so much. That's awesome.